Happy Veterans Day, everyone. I'm an Air Force veteran. I spent over 10 years in the U.S. Air Force. Whoop, whoop, what? Yeah, I've lived many lives, and a lot of times when I tell people, oh, you were in the Air Force. Should have seen people when I told them I was going in the Air Force, because I was into modeling, I was into acting, I was into dancing, I was very expressive, very creative. All different flavors of who I am and the personality that I created, right? So, this inner child within me likes to express itself, likes to be seen, heard, felt, tasted, touched within me. It's not for anybody else but me, in myself, and you know what? I get it. When you are in dis-ease within yourself, the dis-ease will manifest and you will draw that into your life. You will find the things that upset you the most because guess what? Where attention goes, energy flows. And you've already been so easily caught up in the victimhood story of, oh, why does these things happen to me? Instead of you being an active participant and being personally responsible for your thoughts, your actions. Everything starts within. What shows up in your life is showing where you're at inside yourself. Who you attract into your life is showing up to help you grow at all times. Every single person in your life is serving you, whether you want to own it, accept it, appreciate it, or try to ignore it. It just is. You can't ignore the pink elephant in the room. You can try, but you know it's there. So when someone shows up in your life and they make you upset, well, what's really going on below the surface? Because guess what? They're showing you a piece of yourself that you haven't let go of, you haven't healed, you haven't confronted, right? And an interesting thing that I've learned in my Kundalini Yoga teacher training and through all the teachings of life, because you're applying them in relationship, in your interactions. God, the generator, organizer, destroyer, or deliverer. G-O-D. A lot of people don't like it when their comfort zones are, or their bubbles are burst, or their apple carts are upset, or their feathers are ruffled. But guess what? It shows you're alive. When someone upsets your apple cart, it shows you've got an apple cart. When someone ruffles your feather, it reminds you, hey, I got feathers. Don't you think you need that? You need to be pinched every once in a while, right? You need to be rubbed, because a diamond doesn't get polished just by being in its comfort zone. We're always being stretched beyond. And if you're not growing. If you're caught up in your little lazy mundane life and wondering why my life is so boring, why I'm not living the life I want, why things just aren't happening when I want them to and how I want them to, it's because you're so caught up in the comfort zone, you haven't stepped out. And I know myself, there's little things that even I feel much more comfortable with. But I know when I'm rubbed, that means I'm growing. It shows I'm human. It shows I got a lot to learn and a lot to improve upon constantly. Because if you're not growing and evolving, you're not living. You're just existing. And even then, most people, they're living to die. They're not dying to live, right? So you have to ask yourself, most people when they end up in these circumstances where I don't like what this is happening. No, you're offending me. Okay, I'm gonna call it out. Some pictures have been ruffling some feathers, and I'm grateful because I don't even think people recognize they lost the message that was being revealed and shared because they were so fixated on what offended them, what upset them, what they didn't like. Tell me something. Just because you don't like it, you're just going to shoot off all that good stuff. See, this is where you have to recognize, are you grateful for your life? Do you show up and see the blessing and the gifts that are being presented to you in the moment? Or do you turn around and you just hone in on that? You upset me. Very passive aggressive, by the way. I want you to make me feel better because I don't have to look away. You're supposed to appease me. Oh, how funny is that? I'm sorry, but let's call it out what it is. When you have dis-ease within yourself, it's all going to show up to confront you and ask you, are you even honing in on what it is that's really going on within, that you have to project it out upon someone else? Let that shit go, homie. Homie, don't play that around here. Hey, we got some honky-tonking going on. I like to dance. I like to get dressed up. I like to have fun and express myself. And I am happy in my skin and would be even happier if I could walk around without a bra, without people talking about my nipples. Because honestly, growing up, I was very uncomfortable because I knew, sorry, it's my body. And you know what? Me having to constantly have to appeal to other people to make them feel comfortable, to make me feel comfortable, because, there's this game, this dance. I'm sorry. But see, isn't it funny? Because we'll throw out the innuendos. We'll see it all splashed on billboards, but then the minute someone's actually being authentic, and they're not trying to push or sell anything on you, they're just trying to be who they are. The people that come out of the woodwork, that all of a sudden want to try to get you to be in a way that makes them feel better about themselves. Now the question really is what's really going on below the surface? And this is where my compassion comes from. I recognize that when you're projecting your shit on someone else, really, you're shooting on someone, you should do this to make me feel better, or it's really a reflection of the lack of self-worth and recognizing there's a message in this for you, whether it's the message I was originally trying to relay or what Tom was trying to relay, is even received. Again, see, now this is the interesting dynamic. We can't please everyone, and just for one person or two people who, I don't feel comfortable with this. Well, you never had to look, and especially if it's on my personal page, you're not necessary. It is what it is. When I invite someone into my home, it's like, leave your negativity at the door. Take responsibility for the energy you bring into my home. So if you're going to come into my home, come in with respect. If you don't have respect for yourself, you're making it very clear to me when you're not respectful of me. And you know what? I love me. And I don't have to explain myself, and I don't have to defend myself. So if you think I needed to chime in on any of that, it's not me who needs to grow. It's not me who needs to read through that and actually step back and go, what's this say about me? It says nothing about me. It says everything about the individuals who feel the need to go in and continue the dead horse, first off, right? The G-O-D, generator, organizer, destroyer, deliverer. Just like the diamond, if you're not getting rubbed, you're not going to grow and evolve into the person you came to live in this life to be. And so I have a few topics on top of that, but the first thing I want you to do, because I just went straight into that, and I'll touch upon a little bit more, but spread a little love on that share button. It's Veterans Day. Let all the veterans out there receive these beautiful teachings, these messages. I tell you what, being a veteran myself and all of what I experienced during my career, and truly, when I was in the Air Force, I had to deal with a lot of male chauvinism, a lot of all that stuff. I'll share some of those stories here in a second. But I want you to spread a little love on the share button. Share it in groups. Share it on your personal page. Invite your friends. But you know what I really, really want for all of you to do who haven't done it already, and even if you have, do it anyway again. Go into the group, introduce yourself, invite, add 200 or more of your closest buddies, even if they're not close. You never know whose life you're going to touch. Ride 'em, cowboy. You got to rub each other. That's what we're here for. It's called human connection, human touch. And sometimes we need a little bit of polishing, right? So, the other thing is, that's how you're going to win that rad juicer. So we had the Rad Juicer giveaway on the 18th, and Tom's going to reveal that. But you got to spread the love. You got to invite your 200 or more friends and come play with us, because we're all about having fun. This is not about getting all serious and caught up. That just shows how much you've held on and you're resisting the idea of being in your own authenticity when others are, and you are stuck in your comfort zone and like your bubble's getting burst, and like, come on, burst your own bubble, get over it, and just burst your own bubble and explode out of it, right? There's too much goodness out there in the world. And so just talking about a couple of my stories, one just popped up into my mind. I was thinking about how even during my Air Force career, I was always active into fitness. I covered all of the, we used to call it like a fitness test. So I administered the fitness test for my squadrons, for the groups, the flights, whatever, we broke it down to. Sometimes I was higher up, sometimes smaller, just depending on where I was stationed at the time. And, when I was a runner, especially when and this was even more interesting, because when I worked in joint forces like NATO and with all the other nations, but also with other branches of service in the U.S. So I was stationed in NATO out in Belgium back in 99 to 2001. And I used to run with the running crowd. And I love to run anyway. I can't do it as much as I used to. I'm still kind of working back into it. And I would wear a tank top and shorts. And I feel a little claustrophobic when I have a shirt around my neck and all this bagginess, and I feel weighted down. I like to work out with whatever I need to just, bare minimum if I can do it. And so it came to my attention, there were people watching me during my run. We were only 2 women in the whole running club, and we would run at lunch. And I didn't take a lunch break. That was my lunch break. So it was me and another woman, and we were the 2 women, and there were, maybe 10 men. And this was a joint nation, so it was not just the Air Force, it was other countries, other nationalities. And what came to my attention was it was someone from another nationality, which is, I don't know if that's normal, especially having lived in Europe and all the stuff you see over there. Somebody made a comment of, did you see what she's wearing? She's, that wasn't conservative enough. Like, and here's an interesting aspect here. When you have time on your hands to observe and judge and make comments like that, it shows that, number one, where's your attention? Is it serving you? And you've got that free time and you're going to make comments about someone else. You know what? When you point a finger at anybody, you're going to make a judgment. You got 3 pointing right back at you, baby. All I'm going to say is, judge not, lest thee be judged. And you got 3 going back. Don't be pointing unless you're ready for the 3 coming back at you. You want someone to be accountable? Be accountable for yourself first. Take responsibility for your thoughts, actions, and deeds. Because ultimately, nobody has to answer to you, and it's none of your business. It's also none of my business what other people think of me, and I personally could care less. I've gotten to that point. There are times, yes, I feel the sting, but I also realize that what Tom and I are trying to do here and bring to you all, we're trying to inspire through our own inspired living. We're not here to appease anyone. We're actually here to ruffle the feathers and upset the apple cart. And the reason for that is because we know we needed it done for ourselves. And we also understand the dogma. We understand the habits and the patterns that people can easily get caught up in that comfort zone. When you're so caught up in a routine, you lose sight of actually living. And again, you're either dying to live or living to die, right? And I have compassion, and I send you all my love and blessings to those of you who felt upset by whatever was put out there. God bless your heart, honey. Each and every one of you that felt the need to say something and think that things are going in the wrong direction. I'd be naked every day if it wasn't for the fact that women should be seen and not heard, or they should be dressing a certain way. That's too sexy. It's not, it's nudity. It's nudity. I was completely clothed. My bathing suit sometimes. I mean, seriously, really? I don't even want to wear a bathing suit when I go to the beach. I only wear it because I don't want anybody to bother me. And otherwise, even in my backyard, if nobody's around, I will go top and bottom off. Because I don't like this. I don't like the restriction. And nobody else out there can tell me what I should or shouldn't wear. You just don't have to look. Where attention goes, energy flows. Pay attention to what it is that you want to cultivate in your life. Work on that self-love and that self-worth. Clearly, when someone's uncomfortable with you, it's because of an inner discomfort within. And a lot of times they don't even realize what they're really saying about themselves is that I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. So please don't make me feel uncomfortable by doing what makes you feel comfortable. Because it's uncomfortable to me. It's crazy. Well, we don't need any of that drama here. So, other than that, there was another really funny little story I wanted to share. So years ago, I was in Hawaii visiting a girlfriend that I was in tech school with when we were first entering the Air Force. And I visited her and her husband out in Hawaii. It was during my mid-tour when I was stationed in Korea. And I was really excited. I had a couple weeks. And so my girlfriend and I went to North Beach. And while we were at North Beach, I was wearing a brown thong bikini. I get dark. I get rather dark when I really get out in the sun. And there was a man who came over to me. Now, mind you, this was during the week in November. And I think it was 1995. And while we were outside, and we weren't bothering anybody, there was barely anybody on the beach. In fact, that's the time of year when it's like kids are in school. People are, busy during the day working. A man walked over to me, and I was on my stomach, butt side up on my thong, and had the audacity to tell me how he didn't appreciate me laying there naked while his son was present. He came all the way over to make sure he told me that. And let's just be real. Probably was making sure he'd get a chance to get a visual of what he perceived as being naked, which turned out to be completely false. And I looked at him perplexed. I'm sorry, I'm not naked. And he had nothing more to retort. He had no response. And as he finally walked away, another man walked over who turned out to be the beach lifeguard and proceeded to say, and it was comical because we both laughed about it, he said, so I just had to come over and see who this naked woman was because that guy just came over to me and said something. And I said, yeah, as you can see, I'm clearly not naked, right? And he just laughed. But, these are the things. The irony is don't offend me, don't do that in front of me. And you're still looking. It's like the people who drive past accident scenes. They don't want to see blood, but they're looking for it. Don't do those things, but I'm looking for it. What you don't realize is you draw it in because you're looking for it when you say you're not. And where attention goes, energy flows. The more you're looking for something, even if it's subconscious, and most of the times it is, you're just saying you don't want it. Like, I don't do this, but 9 times out of 10, whenever you say you don't do it, that's exactly what you do. I don't judge. I don't want to judge you, but you are. Just own it. Be in alignment with your own personal integrity. Don't sit there and spew off words. Walk your talk. Don't speak it. Because actions speak louder than words, and your words, when they're not in alignment, they show. I don't do this, but you're doing it. Just step into your personal power and you be you. Stop feeling like you got to fix the world or help anybody. I'm really worried about you. I don't know. Is that person a bad influence on you? Is Tom a bad influence on me? Y'all don't know me. All I'm going to say is it could be that I'm the bad influence on him. Y'all just don't know. Because I do have different flavors. And I have different layers. And I've lived many different lives. I know what goes on below the surface. You just see what is available at the moment you see me. And whenever you see anybody, remember there's a whole other side you don't see. Just like I don't see each and every one of you. And I have no idea what goes on behind the scenes in your life. But I'm going to love you where you're at, and I'm going to embrace you where you're at. Especially because I've been there. And the last thing I want is someone to project themselves on me and to judge me for what they see in their appearance and through their filters of perception, beliefs, and all that. Because that's the only reason they're seeing what they're seeing, is they're showing up where they're at, not where I am. But I'm here to rub, baby, rub, all I will do. Because I know that's how we heal. That's how we integrate all the parts of us to make us whole. There is no dark and there is no light. When both are in balance, they don't exist at all separately. But you know what? You couldn't exist without the two. So that's why it's so important for you to embrace every aspect about yourself. Every experience you've had, you are you. And you're perfect just the way you are. Don't let the HATE in. Yeah, it takes a little bit of like, okay, I got this. You don't define me. You ain't the boss of me, right? Tip your hat and say, oh, howdy. Howdy, I got the cowboy howdy thing going on together. So again, I'm just going to say the whole purpose of people showing up in your life is to ruffle your feathers, to remind you you got feathers. It's to upset your apple cart, to remind you you got an apple cart. Now what are you doing with it is the question. And are you stepping into your personal power and your own personal truth? Or are you just going through the motions, through your beliefs, your personal experiences, your patterns, your comfort zone, that bubble you don't want to burst? You know, ooh, don't say this around that person. Don't do this around that person. You're walking on eggshells. Ain't got no time for that, y'all. Really. And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful. I'm saying that to recognize that there was a time when I couldn't articulate myself in a gentle way. And I'm not saying I'm being that gentle today. It's more like the tough love day, okay? I was in the Air Force, and I was very, very like, okay, if you asked me a question, I answered it. There's no beating around the bush with me. I don't have time for that. That's so exhausting. I don't have energy for it. I don't play games. The games, they cause too much disconnect. If anything, I prefer to work on bettering my communication style so that I'm received clearly, that there is a conscious communication, and that there's compassion with it, that it comes from my heart, that I know I'm speaking with love, and that my intention is that you receive whatever it is you're meant to receive that's going to help you in your experiences. It's going to inspire you because this is my life. And I'm only telling you what I've experienced throughout the course of my life. You know? And I can tell you that in the past, my communication style was just like, I'd say it like it was, and it was rough. They were rigid, you know? Like, you know, a serrated knife. That was more my style. And so even sometimes when, every once in a while I get there, I do it again. But I really try to listen to myself before I speak. I try to breathe. Breathe into my physical body so I can just be present here. Because I am here now in this. Going outside is only going to you're going to live without. Going inside is where you'll find all those gems. And yeah, you know what? You didn't come to live this life for somebody to candy coat it for you. The only one who can do that is you. And when you can work from that inside out, thank you, Leanne. See, Leanne knows me from way back. We're talking grade school. And and somebody would ask me a question. It was like, I think people were afraid to approach me. And I was told, even my sophomore year in high school when I lived here in Florida, you know, I always thought you were so serious. But that had to do a lot more with my coping mechanisms. And as I discussed yesterday, and how my survival skills were to be stern and focused. because I kept a distance, and the fear of being abandoned or rejected. You know what? Now I'm in a better place. I still have my soft spots, and we all do, and that's what we're working on polishing, right? We're all diamonds in the rough. Some of us are a little brighter, and some of us are still, working on some of those inclusions. But we're all exclusive here. We're all inclusive. I mean, not inclusive. We're an inclusive community, okay? And it really is about embracing one another, supporting, uplifting, inspiring, and empowering one another, just being who we are. Because when you show up as you, others will be inspired to do the same that maybe they wouldn't have had the courage to do before. And this is the beauty in life, is recognizing that you're golden, you're perfectly where you're at. You don't need to act any different than how you feel. You're just navigating through life and finding what resonates. And your inner child's like, can I just get out and play? I want to build a tree house. I want to go splash in the ocean. I want to don a hat, put on a dress, put on some jewelry. I want to feel all girly. What's wrong with that? I want to run out my backyard. Prance along with the daisies. When I was a little girl, like this type of dress. This could be a skirt or a dress. I do both. I love to play, and I used to be constantly outside. But I also grew up, I didn't like to put on a lot of clothes either. I wore a t-shirt and underwear around the house. If you're at my house, well, nobody's really going to be at my house because I don't usually have people in my house. I like to walk around my house naked or in my underwear. Or my pajamas. Depends on the temperature of the house. And it's all good. I lived in Belgium, and I had a house with an L shape in the back and all windows, and I was told I shouldn't run around naked in my own home. At first I was like, oh my gosh. That was the old me. I was worried about upsetting someone, upsetting their apple cart. But then I had a pause where I went, wait a minute. What are they doing looking at my house? Why are they trying to tell me how I should dress in my house? That I should put on clothes in my own home? What are they doing looking at my house? I actually, because I had that moment of people pleasing, like, oh my God, I didn't mean to offend anybody. But then I had that moment where I went, oh, wait a minute, that's my house. Tell them to go somewhere else. But you know what I mean? Like, can anybody else see the absurdity of it all? So if you come to my page and something offends you, go elsewhere. Don't worry about it. I won't. It's all good. Let that shit go, homie. If you find value in my words, that's more important to me. If I'm able to inspire you, if I rub you, that's good too. That just means I served you the way you were meant to be served. Would you like it on a silver cart? Or would you like it with that, the gift without a bow? Your choice. It's how you show up that you're going to receive the same vibration. Everything comes to you to show you where you're at within you. So, other than that, that just cracked me up. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. And so, really, I just want to make sure that you all recognize that we're all serving one another. And life is too precious, too short for you to, get caught up in all the drama or the bonk, bonk. I don't know, I'm just making stuff up now. So don't let others determine how you are. It really is just right here, right now. I also wanted to talk about abusive relationships, and this one's for you, Cummins. So years ago, right before I came back to the States, and I had been in many relationships. My last longer relationship was with a man who, you know what, I love him dearly. I really, truly do. But he made me aware, and that's how we served one another. I don't know how I was able to serve him in a certain capacity, but I know I did in some way, shape, or form. He was an alcoholic, and my being exposed to that didn't help me any because I drank a lot of wine. So I could say I was an alcoholic easily because it was easy to get caught up in the drink because it was a good wine, always a good wine, and this was in Italy. But he also had drug addictions as well. And it was totally out of my scope because I couldn't afford to do that for my career. So for me, I was happy my drinks. I got my glasses of wine. Funny enough, I'm the red wine drinker more, and he was the white wine drinker. And it wasn't until I started being confronted that I moved back to the U.S. and I saw that an old pattern, and I was staying with my dad. And God loved my dad and my mom. What I share with you is not to out my parents. I absolutely adore them. I know they did the best they could at the time. And so we're all growing at all times. And the question is whether or not we're actually observing it, or if we're getting caught up in the, old patterns and habits. Which is ruling you, your mind or your heart? And so when I came back to the U.S., and this was in 2008, I saw how my dad was with his wife. And it reminded me of my childhood, of when him and my mother were together, and they were very much like this. And I expressed yesterday that there was a lot of fighting, and that's what caused me and my sisters to have to grow up quickly and defend find ways to survive, because our parents were so caught up in the narcissism and the your fault, instead of embracing us young children after everything that had happened. And so when I witnessed this pattern that reminded me of a particular incident with my parents physically fighting, which was one of those you can't take that impression out of a child type images. And I remember crying and getting upset. My mother provoked my dad got upset. It got physical. And so I went back to Italy, and I was still working on my stuff. And at that particular time, I hadn't gone through Date with Destiny. I hadn't started doing the real hard work of self-love. I knew that I needed to change things. My sister had given me the book, The Secret. I knew it was bigger than that book could ever even, portray. I could read between the lines, and I knew it even in my own life from my own personal manifested experiences. But ultimately, when I went back to Italy and I had a full-blown out argument with my boyfriend at the time, it was like I started to see how I had become my mother, and I was poking and provoking the other person. And when I did that, that created that same scenario that was repeating an old legacy. It was an old pattern. It was something that needed to be witnessed and remind me that that wasn't even who I was. I had just taken on an old story that was of my parents. And so in an abusive relationships or unhealthy relationships, especially at younger ages, up until the age of 6, that's when we're most impressionable, and that's where we learn love. It's where we learn self-worth. What our environment is dictates how we perceive things along the way. If you don't know love, how can you let it in? And then again, it's going to be foreign. And if you're in an abusive relationship now, look at your past and ask yourself, wow, am I repeating something here? And how can I shift it? How can I change it? The moment I started to see that and I actually witnessed it, I was like, oh no, this is gross. This is disgusting, and I'm changing it right here, right now, because that's not me. And I saw it. And when I saw it, I was able to go, it's time to heal. And when I heal me, it ripples out. And when I started working on me, I can tell you that following year, I saw shifts in the way I was being treated. When I started working on healing me from the inside out, even when I went back to Italy, he started treating me so much differently, and I could see it. It was like, that's proof that it's an inside job. That nobody's going to treat you the way you want to be treated until you start to treat yourself better. So it's very profound, and it takes a whole lot of put those big girl panties on, put those big boy panties on. Okay, jockeys, we're chonies. When you put those on, show up for you. Don't do it for anybody else but you. Because when you rise, everyone else rises. It's all about starting within so you don't go without. So, again, I'm just going to stress, we got a rad juicer we're giving away. You want to get over to the group. 200 or more. What?
Are you having fun?
Yeah.
Is it going to tag me? It is.
Whoop, whoop. Hit that button, baby.
How cool is that? I have an idea.
You have an idea?
So they know you're a veteran, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, y'all, I'm a veteran too. So first off, happy Veterans Day. What? I have an idea. We should all get up and dance and do the Roger Rabbit for 30 seconds.
For 30 seconds, that's all?
You want a banana?
No, not yet.
Banana?
I can't banana and
I have a date seed or a date pit. Y'all ready? Get up. Let's see. Get up and we're gonna do the Roger Rabbit for 30 seconds.
I can't Roger Rabbit with the banana in my mouth.
Ready? And her toes messed up. Ready, set,
I'll
go.
show you.
Oh, banana on the floor.
I knew that was coming. Are you Roger Rabbiting out there?
Isn't that fun? Y'all could dance in your kitchen too. I lost the banana.
On. He didn't lose it. He's gonna eat it anyway.
You want to put me to work?
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna make an apple crumble. All right. So, I apparently there's a critter in the home. I have the oven on because I'm cooking up a squash. These definitely gonna be the first ones to go. And the compost is right on the floor because I wanted to give you workspace. It's a smaller kitchen than it looks. That's all I'm saying. That one needs to be. Let me just double check. So we got these at Sanwa. How much were they a bag? Do you remember? I have them in the other room.
Those are $2 a bag. We got like two $2 bags, $1.99, and there was like 8 apples in each bag.
Seriously.
So we got like 15 to 16 apples. And this is crazy because this happened by itself. There must be a large like ninja rat around here because we have no idea how this happened.
And Buddy isn't owning up to telling us.
That's kind of scary, huh? Hi, Tina. Did you all enter the juicer giveaway? Y'all should. I think we have a whole bunch of carryovers from last time. And you just got to add 200 friends. Introduce. We had like 10 people introduce themselves yesterday, 10 people the day before. I think we've already had 4 today. And if you have a juicer, you could still enter and then we can gift it to somebody that doesn't. Because juicing was really big for me when I first started.
Definitely these.
That's crazy though, huh? Look at that. But it is a heart. Look, it's a heart.
I know.
What? Ooh.
There's actual tooth marks in it too, which is really kind of funky.
You gotta harvest that self-love, huh? That's right.
An apple a day keeps some cray-cray away.
And you gotta dance in your kitchen, y'all. That's why I used to dance in my closet. That's why the Roger Rabbit's fun. The Running Man is cool. The Kid and Play is cool. You could pop lock it. You could shake that booty. You could twerk a little bit if you want. Whatever it is, because it's exercise. What do you think people do on those? What are those things called? Those. Alrighty then. What are those rebound? Oh, it's a rebounder. Those rebounders, you're supposed to wake up and then you jump on the trampoline and get your lymphatic system going. Okay, so you want me to peel these too?
Yeah, definitely. I would use, what I usually do is I know you know how to carve off the peel because those are like butter. If you want the other longer knife, I'll give you that. These can be fun.
Look at all these ninja knives. Look at
whichever one's sharper.
So y'all use ceramic or steel? I don't have a ceramic knife, but I'm gonna use hers today.
But it works really well, doesn't it?
Yeah, they do work good. Look at these ceramic knives. These are pretty rad, huh? So I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to peel it with the ceramic knife. Do you have a ninja peeler?
Yeah, that's what.
I don't like to go like that.
Why not?
I like to make it quick.
Because there's wax on that. I don't really want to catch the wax or the.
Well, I'm gonna do old school though. I'm gonna go like this.
Then do it that way.
Okay, cool.
And it's okay if it has a little brown on it. It's just the part where we want to make sure there's no worms in there.
And what are we doing with this after we peel it? What are we gonna do?
We're gonna make a crumble, but I don't know that we might use the other parts of the apples for something else too.
Do you want me to dice them?
Yes, that would be great. It doesn't have to be any particular pattern of just like the last one. You had that crumble, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like that. Here's a bowl. playing in the kitchen.
What are y'all having for, because, like, everybody has work off
You want
today,
some
right?
booch?
Yeah. Does everybody have work off today? Are y'all, like, at the park, like, barbecuing, or what do y'all got going on? Y'all's got, like, football on? Y'all playing in the park with the kids? Y'all having a mukbang? What do they call it? Mukbang? You at the farmer's market? What are y'all doing for food today? Whoops! You want me to put this all in here?
Yeah, please.
Hello, Adam. Adam Sanchez.
Poor Buddy's out there in his little pit. It was so sweet of you to bring Buddy over. Thank you. I want some chocolate. I'm craving chocolate. I need to make kombucha with chocolate again. Have y'all ever had chocolate kombucha? Okay, we got, I think this is pomegranate vanilla.
She makes the best kombucha. I was saying.
Kombucha.
Oh, it's kombucha. Kombucha. Kombucha.
It's
One of our members gets on me for that, for saying.
Sandy.
And what is the right way?
Kombucha.
Kombucha. I say kombucha, but I told her I'd say kombucha for a couple of days.
Love glass
What?
and resonate your truth. Be in your true authenticity. Hey, Carl, how are you? We're waiting for you to go live. Tom's already said he's going to do...
I know you can do it, Carl. I know you can do it. It will make my day once I see you live.
He's home in his kitchen. Are you in your kitchen?
He's always in his kitchen.
Do we want to invite someone on?
Yeah, see if you can invite somebody on. That'd be kind of cool.
Cummins, would you like to come on? I'm going to add you because I need to join earlier. Oh, I love this. This is kind of rad because we haven't done this. First off, there were some funky things going on with Facebook and the whole invitation thing. Okay, she declined the invitation. That's okay. So whenever I let someone in or someone would try to go on here, it would totally wonk up my screen or blow it away. Some weird things are going on. So we haven't done it in a while. I'm a little scared about, if it's going to change the orientation. So Cummins, if you still want to join, let me know if you're still out there. Let's see who else is out there. Nope, I don't see anybody. It would be so rad to meet someone.
Alright, so give the recipe for the crumble that we're going to do.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
Do you just kind of wing it?
Yeah, I totally wing it.
Okay, well, you want to try to put something together now for him?
We'll do
For
the best
ingredients
we can.
wise, and then you go over the ingredients?
Yeah, because the last time I made this, I just take a whole bunch of nuts and stuff and create a dish. I'm trying to think if I want to go cook dish. We got a lot of apples. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. Buckwheat
Buckwheat?
on the bottom with...
Now, can we soak buckwheat or no?
Yeah, in fact, you can sprout buckwheat.
That's cool.
It's going to take too long if we do all that, so I'm going to try to bring it from...
Yo, if you have not tried overnight oats, just regular steel cut oats, put a cup in with a cup of water or coconut water and let it sit 2 to 3 days. And then when you put the oats in, the steel cut oats, put blueberries, strawberries, date chunks, honey, maple syrup, whatever it is, and let it sit for 2 to 3 days. And it's a completely different experience. It's much better than oatmeal. It's raw, but it's got a really nutty flavor. And then you can throw some coconut almond yogurt on it or some coconut yogurt, and it is delicious. Very clean carbs, and not real sticky glue like traditional oatmeal is. You can throw cinnamon.
We could do the groats.
Let's do those now. You want
to cut oats on the bottom is what we're gonna do.
Oh, and can we do what I just said though too? Can we make 3 different flavors? Because I've been wanting that. Mm-hmm. We'll make 3 different flavors. Do we have enough mason jars?
Mm-hmm.
Rad. We'll show y'all. It's really easy too.
And what I like to do personally, and this is how this is going to start. I'm going to take the oats and just put them like this in the bottom of the Pyrex. And then the rest, we're going to split up like we were just saying and make 3 different flavors. Because this stuff swells up so nicely that and it's so filling, especially in a crumble.
And you can use coconut water too. Like Miss Lana got this stuff. This is the cheapest I've seen. I don't really know what quality it is, but it was 10 cents an ounce, right? I like Amy and Brian's. What is it? Honest Harvest is good.
Yeah, harmless.
Yeah, but it's real expensive. But that is 10 cents an ounce, and you only put like a cup. You put a cup per cup of oats. That's good.
It's not bad.
It's so good, y'all.
In fact, you know what? Now that you said
your kids will like it too, because when you're done, you could sprinkle some date sugar on it.
So what I did was I'm using this, just I don't know how much that is. It's just enough to cover and moisten. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out some of the coconut flakes that are in the refrigerator and sprinkle them in there. Here. Oh.
What's this?
That is, I think it's a pomegranate vanilla one. I can put some more in there too to kind of
pomegranate vanilla.
I just put one of the pineapple
kombucha. Ones. Y'all, this kombucha is next level. I've tried almost every one, and they're usually like $2.50 to $3. This stuff is like I've never tasted anything in my life. It's so good. And she's got like 10 different flavors. They're delicious. Cheers. Cheers. You want some?
Here, you want a little fizz? Ooh, yeah. This is...
Everyone's different, too. Everyone is way different. She made a coffee one yesterday, didn't you?
Oh, my God. That's like VIP yum.
VIP yum? Hashtag VIP yum. I love that. VIP yum. I learned 2 days ago someone said OMG squared. That means like OMG times 4, I think, right?
No, it's to the second power.
Oh, so OMG times 2
But I would go cubed.
Cubed. I'm confused.
Cubed is 4.
Cubed. So OMG squared is OMG times 2?
Yeah. No, it's actually to the second power.
See how she gets? I can't just say times 2 times 4. Well, let's break this down.
Well,
we need to have a conversation. Yeah, math makes me want to have a baby heart attack. I don't want to do no math. I want to pop the pinky and drink kombucha, not kombucha.
It's kombucha, honey. Kombucha. No, Diane, Sandy Diane asked that you say it properly. Hey, Jeanette, how are you, hon?
Hi, Jeanette. I have to go I have to talk about Jeanette right now. And you know, we keep it raw, stay rad. So, over the last 2 or 3 days, we've had an influx of a lot of new rock and rad stars. And you know, we just keep it raw and stay rad, and there's no fluff. We just be who we are. And there are some older or some the older original rad stars, you know, got their ruffles feathered, or their feathers ruffled. They got their feathers ruffled. And in my opinion, from what I've seen, because I can see these digital imprints, are the people that are really into the GOD, and then the vegan crew are the higher percentage of the people that, you know, are uncomfortable with some of the things that we do. But Jeanette, I got to give you a shout out, because Jeanette, every morning she wakes up and she does a Facebook Live, Morning with Jesus.
I love that.
And so I really appreciate you, Jeanette, for being your rad authentic self, you know, and speaking your mind and serving others the way that you truly believe that you're serving. And I really love when you go live on here. But if you all do not follow, friend, and support Jeanette, do that now. And Jeanette, you're more than welcome to come on my account anytime and do a Facebook Live takeover. And just all I request is you hit push play and have fun. So Jeanette, we love you. Thank you. And just keep it raw, stay rad, because again, like I said, I really appreciate you.
Yeah, we miss you in your kitchen.
So we're doing 1 cup each?
I'm trying to be measuring it out just by I'm eyeballing it. I do that. I'm kind of ripe over here. I like my funk.
You got some funk?
garlic from yesterday. I couldn't resist. I had to have more of that celery soup. Alrighty, so.
Tell them what you're doing.
Okay, do you want coconut water in all three of them?
Sure.
And then the flavors will be depending on what we put in it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so ultimately I eyeballed each. I've got 3 jars, mason jars, and I'm going to basically fill them up with coconut water instead of using water, half and half, so that it's soaked, and the soaked part, it goes about the same amount above it. I'm so eyeballing this, right? Let's be cubed. Live it. White tantric flow. I love it, Deborah. Waheguru. Are you going to winter solstice, Deborah? In fact, that's one thing I have to do today is solidify my registration. See, he can juggle. Okay, maybe you can't. I know we can. I've never learned to juggle. It's kind of like, I could probably do the tissues or something. Or the scarves. I got lots of scarves.
Okay, so what else we got going on? We're going to do all different ingredients, right? In each 3. So, do you want to chop up some dates? That would be cool.
Yeah, I will, but I'm not that far yet. I'm moving slowly. I have the process.
Well, we can brainstorm while we play. What other? We don't have blueberries, right?
We have frozen blueberries. We can put frozen blueberries in there.
Okay.
So you want to put blueberries in one of them?
Yeah.
Isn't this fun?
And we got she has a bunch of cool type of honeys.
I got strawberry too.
Okay, cool. We'll do some
but those will have to be broken, and some of them they probably should be used. Even if we do a smoothie, maybe. I could use a smoothie. We're gonna be all over the kitchen. You're just gonna get all of us. Carl said we're better than watching soccer. Of course we are.
No, you didn't just say that, Carl.
But for Carl to say it,
that is really rad. What about horse racing?
Right.
So I know you do a lot of horse racing or dog racing. Come on now.
Talk to us, Carl.
Carl is where? In England?
The UK? Yeah. Carl, you're not. How far? Where are you in the London area or south of it? I know you told me before, and I forgot. Jeanette asked how you like being by the beach.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. We're gonna go to the beach in about probably 2 hours, and we're gonna go live. Okay. I might be fibbing a little bit about that, but y'all just gotta stay tuned. And then we'll get some more. We'll get some more video content for y'all. But I love it because, you know, you have the sand, you have the sun, which is amazing. The sunset is amazing.
Never gets
old. You know, it was 18 below there in North Dakota, so I ninja flipped right out of there at the perfect time. And just the air, just being able to just be free. And Buddy's quality of life has increased 100 OMG squared. Buddy loves it here, y'all. He loves it, loves it, loves it. I did get attacked by some jumbo mosquitoes yesterday. They like ninja'd me up. Look, this is a true story. So I had to pee really bad, and we were going back to the car, and there's still people around there. So I had to like sprint around this huge bush, and I had to pee really bad. So I just whipped it out, started peeing. I was like, dude. I looked down, and I literally had 30 large mosquitoes like this big. So I was like, what do I do? Because they leave welts. So like my whole back is full of, and they leave welts. So I was like, I gotta run. So I got my thing flipping and flopping in mid pee, and I'm running around and I'm high stepping. I'm like, and I still got them all over my back. You know, and then they get in your legs, and they turn into big giant welts, and you itch them. So the mosquitoes are crazy. The little ninja stickers, sand spurs are not your friend. Sand spurs are no bueno.
Or the no-see-ums. The no-see-ums are really bad.
Oh yeah, those are like thorns.
Lisa, okay. That's exactly what I said. The salt water is healing. Definitely. I got in the water the other day. I'll get in the water again today. Seriously, I can never get enough. And personally, I love to, I know, a little freezer burn.
Ice cold.
A little freezer burn didn't hurt.
Ice, baby, too cold. I caught it. You gotta watch out for this knife, though, huh?
You've seen me lick it.
Do you see that photo of Miss Lana? Or did you have the blade?
I had the blade in my mouth.
Look at this. Do that again. Do that again. She does not mess around with that knife, y'all. That's funny. That was funny.
We got one blueberry. I'm just gonna rinse this out. We can reuse. I can use it. I need more. I need to do frozen bananas. That'll be the next thing.
So check it out. This is the last week of week 12 for the meal plan, y'all. This week upcoming is Rockin' Ridiculously Authentic 12-week meal plan 2.0. So for a lot of y'all that signed up on week 6 or week 7, this is week 13. And the secret ingredient, the rad secret ingredient for next week is the beet. The beet.
We got the beat. Everybody get up your feet. We got the beat. Jump back. Go round and round and round. We got the beat. We got the beat. We got the beat. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did I use to whiten my teeth? Are they white? I guess I do look pretty white.
She used black ninja paste.
You haven't tried that yet. I'll have to look through it. So it's charcoal paste. It's a blend of all sorts of stuff. I don't even remember everything that's in it. So I have to sit down and actually think about it. Because it's in this little jar and it will last probably for another year. It's so much. And yeah, my teeth seem pretty good. Love beets raw. I like them both raw. I like them a little bit blanched.
I like the juice beets.
Yeah, that too.
Those golden beets.
Oh,
They're really good.
those are even better. All right, put you there. Let me see what else we need. We got the UVU. And then I'm going to pull the raisins. Okay, so I have raisins in here, and then I'll grab the dates. 2, and the flakes of the coconut's got to go in the bottom too. So I kind of hodgepodge this, but I'm all about spices that, like, the sweet and it's that time of year with raisins where I like raisins and a lot of stuff. Do you want raisins in one of those?
Mm-hmm.
Jumbo.
So here, I'll hold it. Show them what
Raisins.
So this is 1 cup, give or take, steel cut oats with 1 cup, give or take, coconut water.
Actually, it's probably 1.5 cups. And then about 2 tablespoons or so of the raisins. And then I will sprinkle these all throughout in this one. Because you want them dispersed and not like stuck in one spot.
Should we do nutmeg, cinnamon, all that
Ginger.
stuff?
Yep. Maybe small spice, lucuma.
Well, I'm going to chop these apples up.
I love having a helper in the kitchen. It really makes it a little bit easier. Is that good?
It's delicious.
I have a little sip.
And I'm going to play with you for about 5 more minutes, and I got to go ninja flip and go play. I'm going to go live tonight around 8 o'clock, day 8. We're going to have some fun.
Whoop, whoop. And I cut myself with a knife yesterday. Oh, you really want to see something really nasty? Okay, so I hit my toe yesterday on a rock. I'll put this over here so I don't knock it over. I'm not posting the recipe on this. I'll be straight up because there's no recipe. I am hodgepodging it. So if someone wants to write it down in this video, you're gonna be golden.
Pretty please with the cherry on top. Write it down so
easier.
then all the other members can see it. So that'd be perfect. Look at that toe. Ooh. Ooh. Remember Ernest Goes to Camp? Ooh.
It hurts so bad. I don't know how I slept. It kept waking me up every time I'd make an adjustment. I'm like, ow.
That's big boo boo.
And I'm feeling like a boob for having done it. Don't be a boob. All right, now we got. You want some coconut flakes in there too?
Yeah. Yes.
Dankeschön. Ooh, pancakes and maple syrup. Yummy. That's what Carl had for breakfast.
Yum.
I'm gonna tell you that was one of my comfort. Oh, wait, this is flour. I don't want the flour. That was one of my comfort foods growing up because Dad would always make pancakes on the weekend, especially, or dropped egg on toast. I had kind of exotic breakfast when I was growing up. Dropped eggs on toast, waffles, poached eggs. He was more the bacon person though, but we liked it because there was a connection with Dad.
You know what I would have? I would have a piece of bologna. I'd put it in the microwave with a piece of cheese that came out of the plastic. I'd put it in for 30 seconds. As soon as it started curling, I'd take it out. I'd put some mustard on it, and I'd have like 3 of those. That was my breakfast when I was a kid. That's yucky, huh?
Here we go. This is Let's Do Organic. And these are fine shredded.
That's the brand name? That's
Yep.
pretty cool.
Yep.
That's gonna be a good. That's fun to play with.
Mhm.
In there in the steel cut oats, overnight oats with coconut flakes.
It's about 2 tablespoons in this.
That's a good idea. That's gonna be a
This
sweetener
is the one
too.
with the
For sure.
raisins. Well, yeah, it's going to enhance because it's coconut water.
Mm-hmm.
It is painful. I wasn't sure if I could dance, but I have to do my dance. But what better song? Okay, so, and then I'm going to do a little bit of maple syrup. I'm going to do the maple syrup on top of the apples when I get them in there. And then I'm going to do a little maple syrup in the one with the raisins. Probably a tablespoon. You'd be surprised how sweet that will be because of the raisins already in it.
Just in one. Can we do the 2 different honeys and
Yeah.
some other ones?
Well, do you want to put a honey in with the blueberry? This one doesn't have anything yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Show them those 2 really dark honeys you have.
Okay, so local honey that I got, I have Honey Lasses, which is a mix of the 4 seasons, basically. And this is a company, Eden's Nectar. They're out of Land O'Lakes. And then the other one I got was because I like the flavor of the winter honey.
Look.
It's thick.
Look.
That one is
Look
special.
at the difference, y'all. That's totally different, right?
Right?
Oh, can I dip my finger in this?
No. It's an enzyme thing. It'll actually mess with the...
How about that one?
No.
Oh. How about a ninja knife?
So ultimately, you really shouldn't use, when you're dealing with honey, you don't want to put knives. You don't want to put metal in it. You don't want to put your fingers. You don't want to double dip. Because there's a natural antibacterial in here and enzymes and stuff, and you don't want to ruin the enzymes in honey. Which is why in the days of old they had that honey, the wooden honey thing.
That makes sense. See, I just learned something. She's a little ninja.
Wait, careful with that knife stuff.
Was I quick?
So remember what I said. Some of us are just a little rough along the edges, like a serrated knife, and some of us are a little bit more polished, like a ceramic one.
But the ceramic knife can play with the rigid knife all day long, as long as they're kind and they're willing to listen.
Kindness matters.
What?
We're all about spreading the love. Y'all know that. Hey, Lexi, honey. Which would you like in what? I'm going to put the winter in with the berries. Okay.
Do you eat the honeycomb?
You know what?
I have before.
It's very waxy. I'll let you lick the spoon when I'm done.
I really liked it. It was really filling. I did it in North Dakota. There was this local honey lady, and it was good. I didn't eat that much, but it was really, really tasty and very different than what I have ever experienced.
So I'm doing 2 of these with the blueberries. Cummins, you're back. I didn't see you on there, and I was trying to invite you.
So you want me to do all those apples or just that? We got 4 left. And I'm not recutting them.
No, you don't have to recut
Okay.
them. You're good.
So, question. You want those to remain, or do you want me to keep doing
Yeah, you might. You might as well.
Okay.
Because then, what I can do Ooh, would Buddy eat the apples?
I don't know. We can try. I'll try. I'll see.
He'll be so happy to get a treat.
I'll see. In fact, I'll go. I'll see if he wants this right here. I'll give him a piece.
He is such a sweet, well-behaved puppy. I had a little bit of a nudge on my shoulder from a puppy that wanted to go outside, and I was trying to meditate. It was so cute. So reminded me of my Angel. She would actually come over and just sit close to me.
It didn't interest him at all.
Ah, well, that's a shame because those.
But we'll leave it there. You never know. He might get bored.
He might. You never know. So we put the molasses in the one that doesn't have anything else in it.
What's cooking?
I put the big squash in there.
That smells delicious, y'all. That big one, huh?
Uh-huh. The calabaza.
You could do so much with that. You could do like 3 or 4 different things out of that thing. You can make a soup.
Sweet, sour, salty.
And I would never even think about messing with something like that back in the day.
Okay, I put 2 spoonfuls in each of these. So right now I got a little bit of an ant thing going on. Usually they start seeking refuge between the seasons. Actually, they come all year round. And it's kind of cool because then it sometimes tells you what the weather's about to do. We're not sure sometimes if it's going to rain, but it's like the ants will tell you. Like when there's a full moon coming up, they go crazy outside of my door. The only thing your dog won't eat is tomatoes.
I haven't tried that yet.
So when I had my Angel, she would eat bananas, but then she stopped eating them after a time. Like she was like, okay, I don't like these anymore.
I'm gonna try to get Buddy one of these grape tomatoes. These are like candy. I love these things.
Yum.
They are, and tomatoes are fruit.
Yep.
Look.
Yummy.
I'm gonna go see if Buddy will get. Look how delicious those are, right?
Mmm.
Buddy.
No-see-ums. What did you say about the no-see-ums? Yeah, we have them really bad now. They never used to exist where we're here in this area. I used to go to Honeymoon Island all the time, and I never had an issue with no-see-ums. And then this past year, and even at a girlfriend's place that does stand-up paddleboard, yoga and all that, I was at her place up in Tarpon, and she's right on the water, and we went out on the paddleboards, and I'm like getting chewed up. I'm like, I can't do this. We're trying to paddleboard, and I'm slapping myself and itching like a banshee. It's become so bad. Do you want that, honey?
Yeah, but that's plastic. That's not wood.
Yeah, I know, but that's not the same. I'm just asking if you want to eat it.
Yeah. But I thought we just said that about it has to be on wood.
Well, no, I said
put it back in.
Plastic. No, I didn't. I already used it, and then I was done. I already put it in both. So plastic's okay to use for this purpose, but I wouldn't put metal because of the oxidization and the fact that it changes the chemistry when the metal is introduced into it, as well as what did you do there?
This is a fork, a knife, and a spoon. Is this BPA free?
Rad. Probably.
This is Light My Fire.
Come on, baby, light my fire.
Maybe I can cut let's see, this is cut an apple.
Nope.
It's more like a saw, right?
Got that.
It works though. It totally works. Then you have 3 utensils.
There you go.
These are BPA free. That's pretty cool.
So I'm going to start adding. Now I'm going to put some cinnamon. I'm going to put cinnamon this. That's about a 1/4 teaspoon, maybe like half actually. And now I'm going to sprinkle it. Well, I sometimes will sprinkle it on top of the apples. I'm just sprinkling it in there. I love surprise flavors when I do things, so I don't always keep it so uniform. It's like, oh, you got all sorts of Spencer in your hand. Or are they Sandspurs? Boo-boos.
See that boo-boo?
You told your story about your foot running, right?
Yeah. Not cool. Don't
Look at his feet.
Don't run barefoot.
Look at
Florida.
this.
It's
This
bad.
is
Well, they're
cray-cray.
really,
Can
they're
you
really,
lift your legs up to
they're
the
really
camera?
bad. They're really bad.
Can you lift
They're
them?
really, really bad. Look.
He's gonna try it.
Remember, no judging. I really have super pretty feet. You want to know why I'm really confident about my feet? Because one time, me and Kevin Jarris, he thought his feet were prettier than mine, and we went to AM/PM, and we stood barefoot, and we waited till 20 people walked by, and we asked people whose feet were prettier, and they said mine. Look. But look at the blood blister. But they're really dirty. See that blood blister right here? And this huge one right there? That's a huge blood blister. The other is just a little bit dirt. But a little dirt don't hurt.
Back in the day, that would have bothered me. Back in the day, that might have bothered me.
Right. But you judge. Let's see your feet. But really, they are pretty. Like,
show your feetsies.
I really like my feet. I did break my ankle one time, and my pinky's a little bit offset. And then I broke my ankle right here.
Owie.
I know. I smoked too much weed, and I was 15 years old, and I was in the passenger back seat. And that's when you used to get super, super high, right? And we were taking like 6-foot bong rips, and we were at Daimler Park. And this young lady was driving with her boyfriend. And of course, KJ was always with me. And we literally stopped. We were at Daimler Park. We're going to go shoot some hoops. And we're like, okay, let's go shoot. Stop the car. I'm like, cool, let's go. I step my right foot out, and she rides again. She's like, I'm like, whoa, my foot. And it flung me out of the car, and I'm sitting there. So she already broke my ankle. Then she puts it in reverse and runs over it again, y'all. I was like, yo, my ankle's broken, and my toe was this way. It was just dangling. It was in my skin. It really, really hurt. But so my pinky got a little off-sided, but I think I still have pretty feet. What were we talking about besides that? Oh, what was I going to say? What was I talking about?
About your feet.
I know, before that.
The blisters and
blisters.
Don't judge. And he has pretty feet.
Yeah, no, well, look, because I've been running in North Dakota in the park barefoot, and I really, really enjoy that. That's been a huge thing with my fitness. In my opinion, I know I don't need a gym. I don't need weights or anything because I just like going to a park where you can run barefoot, and you just run. You just skip, you play, you do sprints, you do sit-ups, you do push-ups, like when you're a kid, right? But here, I can't do that because, well, the first time I was like, I'm going to do it anyways, and they had all those ninja sand spurs. And I did it anyways, and I ran like 1.5 miles, and people were looking at me like I am crazy. I was running through all the sand spurs, and then they hurt so bad, I went on the pavement, and I ran another mile barefoot on the concrete. And I came home and she had to take out 100 of my foot. But I learned the hard way. What's this?
Smell. Spices are nice, and not everybody knows all these different flavors. And so this is one of my little secrets. I haven't used this in a while. I had to buy it in bulk, and I hadn't had it for a while. Fenugreek seed powder. If you don't know about it, it's something particular. It gives it like this caramel maple syrupy kind of flavor.
It smells like a donut. It smells like a donut.
I'm going to put some of that in the raisin one, along with the cinnamon, some nutmeg and ginger. And I'm not even going to measure this. I'm just putting probably about a quarter of a teaspoon, if that. Right? She's
got a lot of really rad, healing little ninja spices. Like for the meal plan, we try to keep it under, between 8 to 10 ingredients. But like she can make a smoothie that's like so next level. It has like 20 ingredients, and the flavor combos and the ingredient combos are so good. It's like stuff I've never tasted. It's like silk. It's like, am I like on a different planet? Everything that she's made, and I'm not just saying this, has been next level. Those jicama fries yesterday, that was bowl licking.
We tore that up. That didn't last.
Everything that she has made, y'all, and I got to give her credit. She spends a lot of time meticulously in her prep. Like these apples would have taken her about 2 days to do what I did.
That's why I'm so grateful.
But I'm not kidding. She gets in there like, look at this. See this right here? Like this little blemish. Like she wouldn't even allow half of these in here.
No, I would. No, in this case I would. It's
but
the skin ones.
She'd be like, here, just be like, she'd be all up in here with the paring knife. Like just be like this.
No, you're good.
And she'd be like this. And she'd be like, and she gets in there. She gets it in there. But you can tell the difference.
Can you get the skin off?
Yeah, see like the skin? See? Like she'd be like, nuh-uh. So you gotta get up in there and you gotta cut it out. But everything that she makes is really, really good. Like really, really good. And I appreciate it because I learned so much from her. Like today, our breakfast was just like tonics and cleanses, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was total like supplement concoctions. I like to do MSM in the morning with rosehip powder.
Show 'em.
Okay, so, and I've shown them before, but I buy things in bulk, and so this is the MSM that I use, and it's good for like it's everything from the skin, the cellular level, but you need something of a vitamin C as a like you need chargers, you need things to assimilate into your body, and so I use rosehip powder for my vitamin C because I haven't been picking up oranges. Like I like to juice oranges, but I haven't yet been using them. And so
Citrus is not in season, is it?
it's coming in season. It is starting to come out right now.
So we'll get more sales and higher quality.
And the thing is with me, my teeth and everything, I'm an O positive blood type, and some of the stuff I've read, orange juice is really hard on our systems, but I still drink it, and it's my favorite way to do kombucha. Is I love to take, yes, exactly. Rosehip powder is so good for so much, is vitamin C. So, and I've played with rose hips and made it my own essential oils using the. You're so cute. Here. These apples are yummy too, by the way. Did you try it?
Not yet.
Not yet. But I'm, and there's a lot of stuff that I use that I haven't, I don't remember why I use it. And then I go back and I have to research it because people are asking, right? But also, I didn't do the mushrooms today, but. So, this stuff here, and I'm a huge Paul Stamets fan, first off. And this is not Paul Stamets's. I like his My Community blend, which is a blend of all the different types of mushrooms. And if you're traveling, it's an amazing thing to carry with you. Whenever I travel, I typically do that. And in the past 12 hours, I've been sneezing like crazy. I don't know where it came out of, like nowhere. I woke up in the night sneezing. That's how much I've been sneezing. Yeah, and it is a vitamin C. So the rose hips are high in vitamin C, as well as antioxidant and all that stuff. So
I'm gonna leave.
Okay, have fun.
Y'all, happy Veterans Day to all you veterans out there. And y'all have a rad weekend. I'll see y'all later tonight. Thank you for letting me play here today. Cool.
Yeah. Have
all right,
fun.
y'all. All right, so you can do those three.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to put those strawberries into the other one?
Yeah.
You want to chop those up before you go or no?
Frozen?
Yeah, you should be able to cut through with the knife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how, like little pieces?
However you want it.
Little pieces.
Do it the way you want it because this is more for your.
Well, that's pretty cool how this cuts when it's frozen. Look, it breaks. Like,
see,
watch this.
I know, straight down through.
I don't see how it like breaks. See that? How fun that looks? Like,
yeah.
I've never
He's having fun with my toys.
I've never cut a frozen strawberry before.
Rad.
So I'll just leave these here for you then.
Thank you. Isn't that rad? All my toys.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you about the mushrooms.
Oh, so yeah, the mushrooms are really good for vitamin D. And I remember Paul Stamets saying years ago that if you take the actual mushroom and you put them in the sun, it'll absorb more vitamin D and make it that more bioavailable to you. I haven't tried it yet. One of these days I will. I have this thing about bugs and flies and stuff. So.
What does that mean?
Well, I'm just thinking if I put the mushrooms outside in the sunlight, whether or not it would attract a bunch of flies.
Oh.
So I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't put it into theory. Would you like a date?
Thank you.
I don't think I'd ever met anyone else who ate dates and almond butter as much as me.
I love it. I bought like 8 huge things of almond butter from Natural Grocers and brought them, and she already had a massive box, 2 massive boxes of dates. There you go.
Thank you,
I
darling.
go play Love Spin, boom.
What?
Boom, big hug. I really hug. Again.
Thank you, honey.
Thank you for playing.
Thank you for playing. I'll see you later.
Bye, y'all. Smile. Hi, sweetie.
Hun, have fun storming the castle.
Baby,
So, now what we're left with. Isn't that fun? He's so awesome. Dates and strawberries. Speaking of strawberries,
I'm going to make a smoothie after all this. And I'm so grateful that he came in and helped because he always surprises me. I don't know where well, he's going to pop up, and that's good because I like being out of my element. I actually live by, I thrive on a little bit of surprise in a good way. So I think I said this the other day that sometimes, you don't even realize you can be doing all this cerebral work on yourself. You can be convincing yourself that I know this stuff and I can apply it to my life. But integrating all the wisdom and the knowledge that you acquire through the teachings of whatever it is you study or the meditation that you do or the insights that you get when you journal, right? Like for myself, the big key is in relationship. When you are interacting with other people, person on the street, your parents when you visit them, family members, friends, loved ones, when you interact, that's applying the knowledge. That's called integrating it. And then when other people show up in your life, you can see that's a litmus test to know, can I now apply what it is I know in my mind? When you apply that in your own personal life, relationships will thrive when you just envelop this flow. You allow yourself to be a part of the experience and not judge it and just allow your soul to flow, right? So I know that for me, I was very, very like things a certain way. Like, sure, the way that Tom was cutting up these beautiful apples. The only thing I will do is I will go back and take the actual, if there's any in here, there's only a couple that I see that have some of the skin still on it. But let me tell you, he's right. I would have taken a whole lot more time to just cut these all up if I did it myself. So I'm very grateful to have my bubble burst a little sometimes because that means I'm growing. And I know, oopsie, it's stepping out of my comfort zone, which is healthy. And so I embrace that. And there's a banana all in there. So I know we're always evolving. If you're not growing and someone's not rubbing you, then how can you know where you are on the inside? So when someone shows up, and yeah, I've had these I haven't really had little mini heart attacks. Okay, I have these moments of, and then I'm like, oh, and I just reintegrate into, okay, why was I feeling the need to be attached to things? Why do I have to have this a certain way? Well, I know why I do certain things. And when someone else is in my space, I almost feel like, well, let me share, let me help. Again, sometimes you just got to let the person go do what they're going to do because it's all perfect. So I'm really, truly enjoying all the little surprise moments. So we have these beautiful strawberries we're going to put in this particular one. All chopped up, nice and yummies. This is probably a good half a cup right now. And this is going to swell up, seriously. I don't know if it'll all fit in there. So what are you all doing today on this gorgeous, fun day, Friday? Hashtag Friday, right? I think I'm going to just put a little bit of vanilla in that one with the strawberries and the honey because it'll be like a strawberries and cream combo. Been missing you, Lexi. And I can't read all of what you're writing, but whatever you write, I will read. I'll go back and read over later. So what I did with the steel cut oats on the bottom, so this is what I have so far, because I know, Jeanette, you wanted to write this down. And please share it with all of us, because I don't write things down. So in this particular case, I got so much going on. It's a lot. And I probably won't get to write a write-up on the recipe today, because it's just too much for me as it is. So we have steel cut oats just on the bottom surface, right? It's going to swell up. And then I put raisins, and the coconut flakes are in here. I sprinkled cinnamon across it. I sprinkled fenugreek seed powder. Fenugreek. Let me show it to you so you know exactly what it looks like. And this gives it kind of like a caramel flavor, believe it or not, which is really rad. I love to throw that in my salads. It's actually in curries a lot of times. And then I have some nutmeg spread across it. So we have cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger is the next one I'm going to sprinkle across it. And that's also going to go with the raisin oatmeal blend. I love this. I got like 4 things going on for recipes. And I like a lot of ginger, so this is going to be at least, if I can get that much out of it, half a teaspoon, if I can get that much in here. I would have grated fresh because I have fresh in the fridge, but I'm trying to make this a little bit quicker than normal. So this ginger gives a little bit of a kick, which is really awesome. So this is at least a half a teaspoon. And ginger's really good for digestion. It's for heat. Like if you're somebody who gets cold. That's why this time of year, when it gets cooler, wherever your climate is, it's really good to have things like spicy, things that kind of warm your blood. And ginger's definitely one. Another thing that's really good for women, if you're on your moon cycle, or if you get, you get cramps, PMS cramps or something like that, chew on fresh ginger. My girlfriend Dee, she recommended that to me. I've heard it from several other people. It's also good for digestion if you're having some digestive issues as well. About 3 cups of oats for the. It depends on the pan. I mean, I just put a thin layer. I would say that's maybe 1/4 cup. It might be closer to 3/4, but I'm going to say, and what I did was I just sprinkled the raisins on the top. So there's enough of a layer. I may put more raisins in, mixed in with the apple. And then I have dates over here. And I'm going to cut the dates up afterward. Because first I want to... Actually, I could put some of the strawberries in this. You can do strawberries in the crumble. That's an idea. So also I'm going to put apple in with this, which is... Okay, so here's where I pull out the vanilla for the strawberries. I have the vanilla stevia. Oh my gosh, yeah. Cummins, I have a lot going on over here. So I've got 3 different oatmeals going on. I've got this apple crumble I'm making using the steel cut oats. And I'm going to use, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops. That was 6 drops of stevia in this particular, and it's vanilla flavored. And this is more like your traditional steel cut oats. It's going to need more coconut water. That's what we're using instead of regular water. Which will impart a nice flavor as well. And then I'm going to do 8 drops in with the strawberries. So we're going to do strawberries and cream. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, maybe that might be more like 10 now. But because I know this is going to be like next level yummy, I don't want to skimp at all. And I probably will take I'll use this in the crumble. I'll sprinkle it on top. All right, so yeah, this is good. It's already so swollen up already. Like the ones with the fruit, and we put probably about a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons of 2 tablespoons of honey. This particular one is I think this is the wild, just the winter season, and the other one's the lasses. So we're just playing with flavors, different types of honeys. And then the strawberries. And I am going to use my spoon, even if there is, because I want to get it down under the water level and see. And then I'm going to taste it, because I want to see what that vanilla. Oh yeah, that's going to be good. It might need a little bit more, but that's okay. Because I know that this first one will definitely need more coconut water. I'm going to put vanilla in with the blueberry too. Lexi, I can't wait to read that because I got part of it. So I'm going to put 8 drops in with the blueberries. I'm going to put another 3 with the strawberries. And this is vanilla. We're soaking it in the fridge. I usually do overnight soak myself. Tom seems to like it 3 days. So I may try a little bit of it first we'll see who gets to it first, because he's got a bigger appetite than I do, I've noticed. All right, so yeah, that's good. That's like strawberries and cream next level. And so what I really like to do with that, there's something, this is another little trick. I don't know if it's just me, but whenever I add a dash of nutmeg to anything with vanilla, I almost feel like it brings out that vanilla flavor. So remember, spread the love, y'all, if you hadn't shared the video. But also, go over to the group if you haven't introduced yourself. You know, that makes our day, truly, is getting to know all of you. I'm telling you, communication is key overall, ladies and gents. If you can open up your mind and your heart to the idea that no matter what, whether you get rejected or not, the more you communicate, the better off you are. But it's also learning communication style. And that's something I was saying earlier, that it took me a while to get into a space where I felt comfortable with communicating who I was to people in a better way. I mean, I was, like I said, I was very in your face. Like, you asked me a question, I told you the answer. Don't ask me something you don't want the answer to, right? We do have some awesome new members, that's for sure. Did I already put that in there? I'm going to put a little bit more. That's going to be so... So this one definitely needs more of the coconut water. It's already swelling up. It's the communication that either binds us or propels us. And you know, not everybody knows how to communicate. And it's also about healthy boundaries and establishing them for yourself. When you start speaking up for yourself and showing up for yourself, it's all like everything works in that way. But it's always telling you something about yourself too. Okay, so I'm going to put apples in with the let's call this the traditional blend of oats. I'm just going to toss them all in there. He did such a good job of chopping up the apples. I'm so grateful for help. Let me tell you, y'all don't know. It is nice to have someone helping you in the kitchen once in a while. I really love preparing, and especially when someone else appreciates what I prepare. To me, it's all even that much more fun because I get to, partake in the other person's experience of my food and everything that I make from my heart. So this one has cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger. It has raisins in it. It's coconut water. I may have to put more coconut water in these, but I'll watch them overnight. And then I'm going to cut up some dates to put in there as well as the dates will go in the crumble. What else do I need? Okay, so that's that. We got the dates. We got the dates, everybody. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll take almond butter and kind of layer it in there. Actually, that's a good idea too. So I still need to layer in here the apples. I get easily distracted when I get 5 different things. You can have it up into the fridge. I personally usually eat it, like I said, I myself, it's just my preference. I like it when it's fresh, like within the 24 to 48 hour window. And when I lived in Italy, I would make it for breakfast or I'd bring it for lunch because it was really a great staple, like what I call carrying your food, Yogi Bhajan says that the graceful woman carries her food. And so I would always pack my food for the office. And I love making my own food. I don't have to eat out. The only thing about eating out is that you get to have these communing experiences with others. But here in Florida, I don't know whether Jeanette, you have access to this. In my area, there are these amazing, again, you all know I don't care for labels. Tom and I don't subscribe to labels. There's these vegan potlucks or raw vegan potlucks, living foods, and things like that. And so I have access to a whole amazing community of people who like to share what they make. And I actually love that because then I get to try other people's food. And so there are some beautiful, beautiful communities here. And getting out and getting to know people is always nice. I haven't been able to catch up with one in a while. Whoops, I have to pick that up. I try to always take care of things while I'm doing them. So when I'm preparing in the kitchen, I clean as I go. I don't like to leave a mess to clean up later. I like to take care of everything while I'm doing it. So, and that's just for me, because I know that if I have to go back later, it can be that much more exhausting mentally. Got a little hair in my eye. So. Now I see what you said about variety. Variety of what? Of the different types of foods, probably. You know what? Go to meetup.com. Initially, when I first came back to the States, I was meeting people in different, I was into everything. I was into like awakening groups and plant-based and gluten-free and all that stuff. That was like, and it still is, but I just don't go looking for it anymore. I love talking about and sharing my personal experiences with everyone, because I know that my story is not so unique. I know I'm not the only one out there. And a lot of people don't realize what they're living with has to do with everything they're putting in their mouth, but it starts in the mind. And that's why we're here to support you in getting to the meat, getting to the who you are, right? Getting to know what makes you tick and why it is you do what you do. When you tap into your body's wisdom, I keep saying, breathe more prana into your life. Breathe the life back into you, right? The breath, the life force, the maintainer, the sustainer. Ultimately, if you master your breath, you're going to master your mind, you're going to master your life. The only way to get control over this monkey mind is to work on breathing and being present in the moment. I am here now in this. I embrace this moment. I'm just here, right? Right? Right, Lexi? Getting to know you. Getting to know all about you. And we're all about embracing each and every one of you. We love you just as you are. You don't have to be anybody but you. In fact, we really do love watching you go live. That's, to me, and I know Tom too, we get a little bit cray-cray. Instant. Stop the press. Somebody went live in the group. I know Diana went live a couple times on the kayak and got to see the manatees, which are protected here in Florida, and they're so beautiful. They're like these graceful creatures and very special. Let's see, is that okay? Sometimes. Yep. Tastes good to me. Thank you, Stacy. I appreciate you, and we love your feedback and your comments. If there's anything you want us to cover that we haven't covered, shoot me or Tom a message and let us know. We're here for all of y'all. It's all about inspiring through inspired living. Basically, right now I'm cutting up the dates. I've already put a layer of the apples. So we're going through the layers. I probably have about 5 dates. That's 4. One more. Friday. What? All right, so I love my date, and so what I do is I just, little pieces of the dates, just go throwing in between all the apple cuts. I mean, actually, it would be kind of interesting, and I'm not sure I'm going to do it with this. I might make a separate one anyway, where I could put some strawberries. 'Cause I have frozen strawberries over here. Stacy, have you gone live in the group? Have you introduced yourself? Sometimes it's hard for me to keep up with all of y'all because I know we got a huge influx, like Tom was saying earlier, of new beautiful rock and rad stars, and I absolutely am excited to see what's in store for us for getting to know everyone. And I love your engagement with one another and your support. I love how you speak up and you tell each other congratulations, and don't worry, if you need anything, reach out to me. That's what this is all about. That's awesome, Stacy. I'm looking forward to that. Do we have any other veterans in the house out there? Anybody else who's served? I still sometimes can't believe that was another life for me. Like, I look back and go, wow, I did that. That was me. I was in the Air Force over 10 years. Wow. Like, and before that, it's like when you look back and you reflect and go, all those experiences led me down the road, right? Led me to where I'm at today. All blessings. All blessings. There's no good and there's no bad. It just is. Only thinking makes it so. Can also make an applesauce with the apples. I got a lot of apples. My persimmons haven't ripened yet either. You are part of the group, Carl. There's no fee for the group. The group is free. It always has been. The only thing that costs is if you're interested in the meal plans. And honestly, there's y'all asked for it. There's a lot of people who asked for us to do meal plans. We just see it as a way to also keep the group alive because we put in a lot of time and energy and we enjoy sharing. I mean, we're giving you a whole lot of content. We've had some people come back and complain about, oh, you want it, it's all about the money. I'm sorry, did you just not see value in the group? I mean, there's people who pay for what we give and it's coming from us for free. We're just being who we are. I mean, that in itself, people are willing to pay for that. And so that might be just an issue an individual has, that when you feel it's all about the money, it just shows you don't find yourself worth it. That if you don't, it's called an investment, people. If you're worth it, then you're willing to invest it. It's not about the money. But this group has always been free. It always will be free until Tom's hair is down between his butt cheeks and the whole butter, the piss and glitter, and having the rainbow clouds behind him. And myself, I'm sure my hair will get longer than that because it already is. And I'll be doing my practice, my Kundalini. I'm all about my yoga, all about my meditation. We are all about bettering ourselves, inspiring you through just being who we are. Is that Stelios I see? How are you? How is it out there? Where are you these days? Are you still in Greece? Are you traveling? I tell you what, one of the other things is I actually love to travel, and I've been feeling like this travel bug for a little bit, but it's something that I've kind of put on hold the past couple of years. I usually, and especially for me, once a year go somewhere, and my last traveling was with my dad when we went to Portugal the summer of 2015. Because we're part Portuguese, I've always been fascinated with doing our family lineage because my grandmother's maiden name was Alfama. And so that's just a little bit of, we didn't have the time to do any genealogy research. But hey there, Ryan, how are you? And so it was a fun trip. My dad loved it. We went all over the north, all over the south, and hung out in Lisbon for a few days. We also went up to Sintra, and we saw some of those gorgeous castles. The Pena Castle is amazing. All of it, all of it. And you know, my dad's got a little bit of a limited mobility as far as his legs and everything, his ankles. My dad was actually supposed to go in the U.S. Navy. I think he was 19. He was crushed between two cars. There was an inexperienced young driver. I don't even know if she had a permit, and she pinned him bumper to bumper at the knees. And the problem was is they didn't hold him when they pulled the cars apart. He collapsed straight down, and that caused the issues he has with his ankles. So, you know, you gotta work on the healing from the inside out. But physical pains too, they take time to heal. And you got to listen to your body. Listen to your body. Your body is always telling you what you need to know at all times. Tells you it's your litmus. It's exactly mirroring what's going on in your mind. If you feel dis-ease in the body, it's because it's not resonating. The heart and the head are out of alignment. And so if you're having some uncomfortable thoughts, the first place you're going to feel it is in the body, especially if you don't allow yourself to confront it fully and feel it fully. Breathe that prana back into your life. Take control. Master your mind. Don't let it master you. Oh, this is going to be so yummy. I love steel cut oats too. Oh, you got to have, lottery time. Carl's in the house. He's got that lottery ticket. What time does the lottery get pulled over there? I used to actually do the Euro lottery when I was over there. Never knew how to check it though. Yummy. Okay. So that date's on top. And I still have more raisins, so I'm going to put some more raisins on top because I just like all the different textures, which is what makes this so much fun, which is why I don't write recipes down. I just do things. It's my own habit. It's all good. Actually, I might put some more of the... I get so many apples, so I don't want to waste the apples. And definitely tastes good when you mix them in with everything. Let us see what we have here. And, we got the almond butter. So you know what, I'm going to do some almond butter in this. Give it a little crunch. Because this is the crunchy almond butter, which is the bomb. Diggy! Alright, anything else? Anything else? Yeah. It's called keeping it simple. But yet, at the same time, keeping it yummy. I'm going to put a little bit of the flakes on top as well. Japan just soak up the oats. They don't cook it. Yeah, we're not cooking it. We're soaking it. Oopsie. All right, so I got to cook the... Because this isn't runny and it's chunky and cold, this is just going to be like... It's going to be interesting, actually. I'll be fingering it in here because I want, like, surprise bites. So there'll be, like, chunks of... Oh, this is going to be good. And I'm going to take out the maple syrup and kind of drizzle it over it. I usually will do some lemon on top of this. I usually will take a lemon, but I don't think I'm going to do that this time. I think I'm going to pass on the lemon tonight. And I think it's mostly because I feel like with the steel cut oats, it would be, you know, I try things different all the time. You got to try things, change them up, right? And it's so cool to have like those surprise bites, all those various textures and flavors. This is how I am. I grew up in a household where my dad had a pizzeria sub shop, a restaurant. And in that kind of environment, I knew my dad liked to try different things. And when you go to different restaurants, some people, and this is like life, some chefs really enjoy trying something that's not on the menu, and they really appreciate when someone comes into the, not everywhere. You know, there's restaurants that they stick to the menu and that's all. But some places, and especially when I lived in Europe, they really loved when someone would come in and say, hey, you know, I have certain requirements. Is it possible? Could you do this or something like this? And it gives them their creative power to also put you in a space where they're accommodating and serving you. And you know, people like to serve one another in a way that they can express their gifts, right? So I absolutely adore going to restaurants that are like that. For example, years ago, right before I came back from Italy this last time, back in summer of 2000, or the fall, autumn time frame of 2012, I was in Ravello with a friend, and we were checking out some of these amazing restaurants that are, Ravello has like Michelin rated restaurants. They have like 3 or 4. And one of them that I love, I think it's Flauta di Pan. OMG, that place in itself is just heaven. I would say it's one of my favorite places to go. And they made me desserts using eggplant. They made me something with, chocolate, of course. And it was such a surprise, you know? There was also another place where they knew totally about the gluten, and they completely hooked me up. And it's just so beautiful. Like when you have certain meal requirements, food allergies and everything, and especially Italy, they know about it. They subsidize their people. If you have a gluten intolerance, they already know about it. It's on the radar. People who are Italian in their country get subsidized every month so they can buy foods that are gluten free. I'm not a big fan of corn because I feel it's not healthy for the digestive tract, but I know there are benefits to everything, and not everybody has the same things that I have. So I just know what works for me, and you got to find out what works for you. So, alrighty, here's what it looks like so far. I forgot to pull up the raisins again, but I'll do that in a second. All that's chunks of almond butter. And since I've got the almond butter out, this is such a crazy day. It's flying by. Yummy. Okay. Raisin. Did I put him back? The most unusual thing. I don't see the raisins. I didn't put them in the freezer, did I? Did anybody see what I did with the raisins? Nope. Hello. Come out, wherever you are. That is unusual. Unless it's right here. I'm just not seeing it. Am I the only one who does that, where you like really can't find something in your fridge? I swore I put it over there. But, oh, maybe I put it in here. Oh, there we are. I found them. I'm pulling a Jedi mind trick on myself over here trying to find raisins. So I'm probably going to polish off what's left anyway, which is good. I'm going to put some more raisins in with these steel cut oats over here. And then I'm going to just spread what's left. This works out perfectly. All gone. I know I do it all the time. Yeah, right, Stacy? Seriously. I'm really good at misplacing things on myself. So that's so far. Now I'm going to use a little lucuma. Has anybody ever tried lucuma? Sometimes I'll throw superfood herbs in these too. Oh my gosh. Maybe there's a rainbow outside. So we're going to check the oven. I want to see if this thing is doing what I think it is. So I have burnt my hand. I cut my hand the other day. So I just do a quick little puncture around it. You really don't need to. Oh, that's done. So I'm just going to turn the oven off and just let it cool down because I'm not going to use that anytime soon. Oh, sounds yummy. I love akuma and reishi mushrooms. I'm serious, right? I need to soak mine. I have one over here that I haven't utilized yet that a friend gifted me. So, what is that? That's flax. Okay. So I'm probably going to do about a tablespoon of flaxseed just sprinkled on top. Because it gives a little bit more textures, right? And then I'm going to put a tablespoon in with these apples too. It's fun because we don't know what's going to turn out, but we just know it's going to be flavorful and yummy. Okay, there's the lucuma. I didn't forget what I was doing. I just spread out between several recipes. I hope you're enjoying this. And this is serving. Alright, so the lucuma, it's kind of a light pink. It comes, and Jeanette, you might know this, because I know that this is more probably South America. And it gives it, again, it's more those sweet flavors, creaminess, little like caramel flavoring to it. That's a tablespoon sprinkled on top. I mean, this isn't getting cooked either, by the way. This is just going to sit in the fridge and it's going to soak up all the moisture, the flavors of everything in it. I might put some more coconut water around it. And then I'm going to do half a teaspoon, or actually this is about a teaspoon, in with this steel Kodo blend with the apples, cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, fenugreek, raisins, coconut water. This needs more coconut water already. I can tell you just by looking at it. They're all going to be so yummy. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to pour some of the coconut water across this because I know the bottom. All in all, this is almost 34 ounces of coconut water that we're using for all of this. I also have some mesquite I'm going to utilize in this. Mesquite is an adaptogen, good for the adrenals. Right, Stacey? All these different flavors. So. Okay. It's like this whole melange. When you go to bite into it, you just get all these different flavors, and that's what makes this so much fun. Right? Okay, that's that. And I'm just about done. The only thing I would do, this is actually butterscotch. I'm curious. Maybe a little butterscotch in that. This is watered down because this stuff is concentrated. So when you get to the very end of it, you can actually add water to it and it's still very potent flavor-wise. I'm just, because this is more toward the end. You don't need this. I'm just putting it in. It's very, very light because, like I said, this was basically water added to what was left in it. But I'm going to put a little bit of Coke. I wish I had more vanilla. I need to get more vanilla powder. That's probably on my list of things to order today. Okay. Vanilla stevia, just basically I dribbled a little bit all through it. And there's coconut flakes. And then I'm going to do the maple syrup on top. Usually what I'll do is I'll make an applesauce, and I might do that later, but I just kind of want to put the crumble together for now and put it in the fridge so it'll start soaking up all the different flavors. So far, here's what it looks like. Nice and layered in a Pyrex container. Yeah, that's going to be so good. All right, time for the maple syrup. Drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. Okay. That was at least 2 tablespoons drizzled all over it. Make sure you're drinking the water. That's what I need to be doing right now. Breathing. Anybody have any questions? Because I'm going to pretty much sign off. The rest of this is all done. It's all going to go in the fridge. And I'm going to go out because I've got some things I need to get done before 5 o'clock. So, if you have any questions, reach out, touch someone, Tom or myself. We're here to serve. Love you from the deepest recesses of my heart and soul. Have an amazing day. Set that intention. If you want to change things in your life, all you have to do is make the choice. Set that intention. This is going to be an amazing day. If it hasn't already, I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Jeanette, if you wrote down the ingredients, please share. And then I'll put it together with the picture. All right? Love you, love you, love you. Keep it raw, stay rad. Add 200 plus of your friends to enter the Rad Juicer giveaway. Introduce yourself in the group. Looking forward to meeting each and every one of you that we haven't already.